democracy, inclusive market, capitalism, and Occupy Wall Street, increase redistribution. I admittedly come to these questions of democracy and community and inclusion and so on through an economic lens, for better or for worse. And the question of how can we have an inclusive democracy if we don't have an inclusive economy, I think is an important one. The question, of course, is what are the best means to make our economy more inclusive? There is a perspective that the solution is to increase redistribution. That is, to raise taxes on high-income earners and redistribute those gains to those who have been left behind, for a lack of a better term. I think that's a worthwhile debate to have, but I think we actually need a more fundamental conversation about the structure of our economy. It's not just enough to redistribute wealth from one group to the other. I think if the economy is not enabling people to fully participate, then we need to think more broadly about our economic system. It seems to me not only would that produce a more inclusive economy, I think over time it would also produce a more inclusive politics. I think the evidence is overwhelming that markets are good at allocating scarce resources and so on. But we can't lose sight of the fact that markets operate in a framework that we set. And it seems to me, well, we can talk about what tax rates ought to be or what the level of redistribution ought to be. I think we need to think more fundamentally about the framework that we're setting for our markets. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be participating in Occupy Wall Street or something like that. But I do think as our economy bifurcates between those with high skills and those without post-secondary education, we need to ensure that our economy is much more inclusive, and I think that requires more fundamental thinking. I think the book that has had the biggest impact on me in recent months is a book by an American conservative policy thinker named Orrin Cass. The book is called The Once and Future Worker. In it, Cass argues that we have to stop tinkering on the margins when it comes to thinking about our economy and the opportunity for individuals to participate. We actually need more fundamental thinking about economic policy, about our economic objectives, and a more inclusive economic system. This is a book that's coming from the right, which may surprise a lot of people, but it's caused me to reconceptualize what I think about markets, what I think about capitalism, what I think about democracy. I would unreservedly recommend people to read it.